Testing, testing. Okay. On too much feedback. Peace. You are now at the Tanya 23 experience. Hold on to your seats because tonight we are live streaming episode 6 of the ancient Egyptian origin of the book of Revelation. Yes. Uncle Jocelyn. And before we get started, because see, this is the Temple of Tanya 23, so we open up with a prayer because I'm a minister of this. So we do things properly. And we have tonight an appropriate prayer that I will get to this page. And so, yes, tonight I will be sharing a poem written by Kajara Mia Ya Nedhet. And it comes from the Speaking with Spirit, Volume 1, Rashaki Arts Temple. And so, this is a prayer. We open with a prayer for my people. I'm opening with a prayer for my people. O Great Spirit, who gives life to all, we come to ask that you bless our endeavors this evening to share the information that we have. We come to ask that you bless our families, bring good health and sweetness into our lives. Bless the mothers and surround them with love. Bless the fathers and let them be fully present for their families. Bless the sisters and let them support and love each other. Bless the brothers and let them use their energy wisely. Bless the children and let them be divinely guided and cared for. And let us remember and purpose our being here. Let us remember the ways of our ancestors. Let us make wise choices and decisions. Let us be protected at all times. Let us overcome all obstacles. Let us be in tune with our higher selves. May we all be a part of our healing by correcting ourselves. And may Mat, rule and live within us once again, Ashe. May it be so. Fires shots to the enemy, okay? Because what we don't do is cherish our enemy. And so there will always be one of those. Not at the Temple of Tanya 23. It's not a physical bomb. Okay, let's let that be known. We throwing spiritual bombs over here. They're much more powerful. Okay, we got the real ammunition, you see? Because whether in life or in death, you don't faze me. By the way, I am the Scorpion goddess, and this is my season, so I get, razzle dazzled, and I usually just be myself, you know. A lot of people don't like it, but I'm not for everyone, you see. My people, my tribe, they'll hear my voice and they come running. They know who it is. Yeah, somebody knows the word real good. Like many of us that has Christianity roots within their families, but a lot of us didn't pay attention to what was written, but some of us did for such a time as this. And with this mallet, yeah, right here, we're going to have order in this court. All right, so order comes about by first having truth. And so we're going to start truth over here first, which has been proven in episode 4 that the truth is a sword and a shield. So there are many imposters, many imposters. They say they're dealing with truth, but can be proven otherwise quite easily, actually. Because, see, there is something called manufactured truth to suit your own needs and purposes. And then there's the actual cosmic truth. And I'm here to tell you, cosmic truth, cosmic truth, cosmic truth, cosmic truth always wins. And so we come boldly to the throne of grace. And let me put my thing down, because as our great and magnificent and excellent ancient Egyptian ancestors, they didn't put their feet on the floor. Okay, when we're throne ready, we have our feet raised up. Yes, I actually have my box thrown under my desk so that my feet are raised at least this much off the ground. Because sometimes I feel like a goddess, and I know I am. Okay? And most times I'm in my rhythm. Comfortably. We got to learn how to be comfortable with these resurrected bodies of ours. Yeah, I know you're trying to tame it. There's something that's inside and it wants to go round at the wickedness of the world. You know why? You know why? Let's see, baby. Let the baby see. Yes, wait a minute. Okay. You know what? This background is jocking my style. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take it off. And see, I want you to see this. And see that fire in you? It is the fire of the belly of Sekhmet, the lion goddess. We'll be learning a lot about her in the near future, but I challenge you, look up the goddess Sekhmet. There is no way that somebody gonna be teaching you all the time. You walking around here with these over $1,000 phones. You know what? My family know not to. They know not to really act. They know not to ask me because they know what I'm gonna say. Google it. Stop playing with me. I don't ask questions. I've become a library to others simply because they don't want to do the work. And you must pay for my equity, sweat equity. You know? That lazy shit. But you want to cipher what I know? That doesn't work for the goddess. You're only hurting yourself. Does anybody try to take advantage of me, hurt me, or do any kind of whatever that ain't right? Because I don't bother nobody. I don't have time. I'm too busy achieving the achievable. So when they do that to me, they only hurt themselves. It's kind of like the playing type. It's kind of like the soon as you play me, that's your ass. And it's just built by design. It's all in my natal chart. Like all in my natal chart. Like all in my natal chart. You know why I know my natal chart? Because my ancient kinetic family told me to study it, that I would know myself by studying it. Right? Men and women, know thyself. How do you get to know thyself? Just how? If you don't know who you are, that is where you begin to know thyself. That is what they were talking about. Pretty much get into who you are, the inner who you are. But no. We have 2 study guides here that we're going to use throughout this whole thing. Even if it takes the whole entire year of 2024, there's going to be a library of recordings proving over and over and over and over and over again where this literature came from, who is who, and who is ain't who. Okay? The sword, heavenly battles. We are in one right now. Don't you see it? But again, it is not so much physical. Before anything manifests in the physical, it starts here. You're dealing with retrobate minds. You're dealing with wickedness in high places. And they got there because they wrote this book. Now, this is a specific Bible. This is not the one that, well, this is the one that fully explains why it's nullified. This is all you need to know to disprove it. Okay? If you study this book properly, you will see the truth and you will file this in your don't really want to see it again for not that much look yeah until I feel like it. That's where it would be filed. Not so much a go-to. Okay. But if you're familiar with it, and that's all you know, and you can't get out of the box, no way, no how, because it's a big box. Holy crap. You could be lost in here for eons and eons. And your family and the ones that comes after that and after that and after that. Lost. I count myself as lucky that I actually started with this one book and became the crown jewel phoenix that I am today. Okay, because this is the second source that is going to burn this asunder. Okay, this source here, okay, is going to utterly defeat this source here. And I do welcome debates. Okay? But what you're not going to do is try to refute my sources. Because when I drop the bomb, we're going to act accordingly. Okay? Because remember, we're working with this thing here. So, disrespect, it's just hit off of me and boom, right back to you. You don't want to do that to yourself. Now, we left off at a certain part yesterday. We'll start back with that. We established that Thoth Tahuti, if you don't know who he is, look him up. Tahuti, Thoth the Atlantean who came and established the land of Chem in ancient Egypt. This is just a short recap for those of you who might just be coming for the first time. You can go and read the story yourself. This is not a college course. This is a short summary because you have to do the work. Yeah. And so, being that the land was established, there is a story about why he came, who told him to come, and how he got there. There's a book that I'll recommend. It's called, where is my book? The Compendium of the Emerald Tablets, and it's written by Mr. Billy Carson. Hold on, it's my book. Okay. We're actually in the library. I got books everywhere. Oh my gosh. But yeah, that's not even one in my arsenal that I really even need. I'm just recommending it for you to get so you can understand who the Thoth is. You want to get the Compendium of the Emerald Tablets written by Billy Carson. Okay, and that will bring you well on your way. Pretty much from there, you may be able to go right up in this, straight from there. Don't waste any time. Go right to the click clack. Okay. And it's such an utter excellent thing, the way it's laid out, that it almost pisses you off that you didn't know this soon. You're definitely going to go through piss stage. Seriously. I was thinking something, but as you say, I ease my glasses on. I decided to keep that thought to myself. But now. So, let's just start here. A little recap. We established that this, where we started, was actually from Revelations chapter 19, verse 11 through 16. Now, I'm going to tell you how I got there and why I decided to start there. See, I was going through some scriptures and of some numerology numbers that are pretty significant to me. So let me start looking up the scriptures, and one of them was 9/11. So something said, go in Revelations. And I said, oh, what shall I read all these chapters? And then I said, well, I'm very numbery. I'm very numeral. I'm very, I do the numbers. Numbers mean everything a lot. So I said, let me do 11/16, since I'm born on November 16th, which is a day dastardly more ratchet than Halloween. A lot more happens on November 16th than Halloween has ever seen. Go back and do the research of all the murders that occur on November 16th. You don't want to fuck around on that day at all. And that's my birthday. So that's just a sneak peek into the beautifulness of me, right? But I'm still going to teach this word. Now, so that's how I got to Revelations 19:11 through 16. And it parallels with Thoth. Thoth as judge, Revelations 19:11. See, let me just say one thing. Because, see, I'm in my bag. And I'll get to teaching this. But, see, I'm a Scorpio sun. And I'm a Cancer moon. And I'm feeling a little feely. And I go through quantum shit. I pick up shit. This need to be said. Too many of you listen to bullshit and bullshitters. Very many. Very many. Excuse me, let me position my camera this way. Hold on one second. Let's see what I do. Let's have that hanging right there. And maybe that's better there. All right, let's see. That. Okay, back to what I was saying. There are a lot of people that do not walk by spirit, right? Because if you walked by the spirit, then you would know and have something called discernment. Then you would know who you could speak to, who you could listen to, who you could be yourself with. And what is most important to me on this 52nd year of being earthbound, tethered, being myself meant a lot more than anything else to a person like me, who feels things very deeply. That's why I barely play with people, and my jokes always have a real underlining meaning. And I'm rarely kidding. Things are funny that are not, okay, not say kidding, but anyway, there's meaning to my laughter. Nothing's empty about me, nothing at all. So I decided to take on this little thing of getting on this here YouTube and talking about this. Of course, I'm speaking to whoever should listen, but my thoughts are always much higher. And so if I get a couple of views, that's great. But I know the viewing is taking place. So all the other views and things like that are just an extra. Let me share something. And when I first got this scripture, I was fascinated. It resonated very deeply. I had to research a lot of things. It latched right on to my energy, and it was something that I always recognized even as a child. Even as a child, I recognized one thing. And it comes from the book of Ephesians, and that's chapter 6, verse 12. You already know. Those that know the word, you already know what that is. If you know this one thing in life, you have learned a lot. You're on your way with this one. You're on your way with this one if you understand it. If you can understand it, you're on your way. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Now, I would add to that. See, because no one's going to tell me, I'm never going to adhere to don't add no words to it and don't, because I don't want to hear it. This thing has been tainted and it's been disgustingly changed. And how dare whoever put that in there? Who was that? King James? That's the villain. Why would he be able to put that after he had changed everything? I'm going to go in there and put something talking about change nothing. Who in the hell does he think he's talking to? Because it sure is not Sir Cat. Amen, Rock. You will tell me no such thing. I will change and ad lib where I see fit in this book, just like the ones that wrote it did. Now, back to Ephesians 6 and 12. It reads, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and against powers and against rulers of darkness of this world. Well, what do you know? Really? Against the spiritual wickedness in high places? Who would that be? Let me give you some examples. Your Society of Catholic Church. They can't deny the highest wickedness. Isn't pedophilia the highest wickedness? Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. The only other thing on top of that is murder. Okay. We're just not gonna cut. We're cutting right to the click clap. We're cutting right to it. There is nothing worse than that. But yet, our society witnesses what you want to call forgiveness. Who taught you about that? The same ones that took advantage of you? Is that the forgiveness that we see now on all the commercials calling for the abused to come out so that they may file for a couple of dollars, that they may buy their way out of their dastardly sin? Ah, there goes the neighborhood. Trust your children to them. I think I just read something today about they had some all police choir singing something. I said, oh, they got some choir members. Somebody still was brave enough to go up with that choir. Man, you're either gullible or you like them gripper gates. But yeah, I just had to get that out of the way because the darkness of this world, the rulers of the darkness of this world, well, that seems to be the ones that they told you to listen to. They turned out to be dastardly and wicked. Wow. This is even worse. When you find out that from such an excellent culture, it was pillaged as if it meant nothing to the entire world of civilization on the planet. The things that came out of that civilization and its original inhabitants. Egypt has never been so much more magnificent than I would say after the 9th to 11th dynasty. I'm just going to say that because of the numerology. Perhaps anything after 7 wasn't the same. But we're talking about its excellence and magnificence in the first. We're talking about first dynasty here. We're talking about the ones that laid the foundation. You gotta stop forgetting about it because it's causing some problems, right? We have our Tahuti, we have our Ptah, we have our Sekhmet, we have our Imhotep, we have our Anubis, we have our who else? Who else? Yeah, Nefertiti, Seshat, the Great. You know, I learned about Seshat as because I'm a notary, so I'm a Seshat. So Seshat was something to Tahuti. You go study and find out who she was to him. But yeah, and so definitely know your roots before you accept the teachings of a foreign land, because that's exactly what it is for you. Not for us, for you. So if you think you fit in the you category, then I'm talking to you, right? It's all about perspective. And we let everybody categorize themselves because you definitely create your own heaven. And you sure enough create your own hell if you're into what consciousness really is. This whole channel is going to get interesting. So it was thought, and understand, these writings come from way before the AD period. We're going way before your utter interference of a one named Jesus going into Egypt. Okay. The actual Bible was written well over 700 years. Well over 700 years. We're talking about dynasties. We're talking about let's just approximate it. I think it's older, but let's just approximate it at 80,000 years, right? I'm going to say 80,000. All the Egyptologists, they all did 35,000. No. Because when you study the Kemetic tree of life, if you negate spirit, that's a very big part of where your truth comes from, and even how to validate it. That's how we got messed up in the first place, by listening to what other people's findings were instead of finding our own, you know. Once we had a chance to do it. Because I would not be able to sit here before you if not the people before me didn't go through some sort of struggle. Because the big secret has been kept a big secret, and it has been a big secret for those that don't look into it and they just accept what was given to them. If you do that, you're gonna miss it, and you could potentially leave off of this realm, off of this planet, in your consciousness without ever knowing the truth. And that is a life deferred. That is a life that has been blocked. That is a birthright that has been stolen. That is a very high crime in the tribunal of the afterlife, because you will not escape. Even if I don't say anything else, I just want you to know that. For sure, for certain. To deprive one of the truth on earth is, wow. Makes you wonder the price. Depends. Is there levels? Did it benefit the whole world to keep a secret of who actually inhabited one of the greatest civilizations on earth, that actually created everything that everyone on the planet uses today? But I have only in secret and in whisperings and whatnot. Now it's out there, but like I said, you gotta go seek it. You got to want to know. If you just accept what they give you, you'll never know. It is that mostly everything came out of ancient Egypt. Writings, language, medicine, science, philosophy, religion, medicine, architecture, beauty, and fashion. Somebody about to make me see. I have to. Yes. Okay. Mm-hmm. This is a big task. This is a very big task because it's so very important. It's so very important. To know this information is not to feed into the current world situations too much. Because you know there's a catch 23. All right. So the cat's out the bag. Tahuti Thoth, his words, his persona, was taken, and your Jesus Christ of Nazareth was created out of the life of Tahuti thought. That's the big secret. Which means no one's coming. Some are coming, but that which they told you was coming is not coming. Number one, because we can prove it already came. It was already, the war in the heavens already took place. My friends, the only war you are seeing in the heavens is all these chemtrail planes battling with their sun. Don't you see it? It's a plain written book in the sky. All of the planes battling the sun all the time. Wherever they are, they're battling the sun. That's what they're doing. As above, so below. There's a battle on ground, but the real battle is up, and most of you are looking down. Can't say you blame them, because at some point you've got to take responsibility for your own selves, your own knowledge. So, Thoth, he's the faithful, true, and righteous one. Revelations 19:11. In episodes, this, like I said, this is episode 5. We're gonna move on. I'm not gonna keep going on over this. Okay, we need to move on to show the next set. But all of the two-edged sword, and faithful and righteous judge, and the one and true faithful witness, all of that came from the writings of God. Okay. Wow. So much wish. Okay. Let's do it. We're going to start with Horus as the Word of God. As the son of Re and the incarnation of the spiritual Horus of the netherworld, the king of Egypt represented Re on earth. When he spoke, his words represented those of the sun god. In Egypt, therefore, the king's word was effectively the word of Re. The word of the sun god was simply word of God. This parallel is not as strong as the same element for Thoth. The case for a parallel with Thoth is stronger because Thoth was explicitly called the word of the sun god. Oh, did you catch that? Oh, wow. You might have to rewind. As pointed out above. Yeah, that threw me for a loop. Ooh, I lost my spot. That was deep. Especially when you call yourself studying the Bible. And you run into something like this. Okay. Okay. The passage where it's in Revelations 19:16 talks about his name is on his robe and thigh. Revelations 19:16 says, on his robe and on his thigh, he has a name inscribed, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Recall from chapter 3 the preeminent deities that Horus, the king of Egypt, was called the king of the earth. Furthermore, as we shall see next, the reference to the king's name being written on his thigh in Revelations 19:16 bears a remarkable resemblance to an Egyptian belief about their kings. The first reference to the king of Egypt having his name written on any of his limbs comes from the 5th dynasty. Like I said, spiritually, I feel like the greatest time in the ancient civilization of Ken was most certainly from the 1st to maybe 7th. They say 5th, this is 5th, but I say 7th to 9th. Cut off around the 11th dynasty. That's what I would say. This is where you're going to see the scriptures actually established, where they got the scriptures from. They pretty much using the word. So this is older. It's not personal. We don't. Who cares about that? Are you going to deal with the truth of the word or not? Or are you going to go down in history as being a hypocrite? Because once you know, you cannot pretend you do not know. Blasphemy. And you're only fooling yourself. Now, there is a course on how to create a deity. And so what we're saying is the Jesus of the Bible is not. But the spirit that the people put into the personification of the notion of a thing, yeah, that part's real. But it's mainly playing the part of a demigod. It's like playing the part of a actual demon, you know? It's playing the part of like a mob boss of some sort, you know? Whereas some people have even given God his title, given him God's title, you know? This guy here, you should beware of that character. He has the potential to swallow you whole. So, like you said, that customs and those things dated back to the 5th dynasty. Let me give you an idea of the year of the 5th dynasty, because I'm talking this lingo, but I want to make sure everyone understands. Just don't put in what year is the 5th dynasty. You put, and see, this is the thing. See, right away, let me tell you, the world, the best kept secret. Now, we all know that there were other dynasties in the world. You had your Ming dynasties over in Japan. You have your Chinese dynasties. You have dynasties. Every other place had a dynasty too. Mesopotamia and whatnot. But as soon as I put in and I typed in what year places the fifth dynasty, I didn't say which one. Egypt popped right up. So don't tell me that it is not recognized and known as the source of things here, foundations and education system. But it doesn't come in the name of ancient Kemet. That is where there's a problem. And that actually leads directly into racism and classism and feminism and war against the matriarch, because those systems were matriarchal. And I find it utterly interesting that a patriarchal system, which is pretty much male consciousness directed, but yeah, that must not apply anymore. But it's not like, I guess this is a era of awakening, but it's not a best kept secret. It is known. So let's just get the info. Yeah. We're talking about 2465 BCE, before the Common Era. Okay. I'd like to say before civilization erected. That's what they should say. Before the Common Era. Does that mean that you was on all fours scrubbing your butt against the rocks? My. Truth can be so wrong. But anyway, from 2465 BCE to 2325 BCE, the first two kings of the fifth dynasty, Userkaf and Sahur, were sons of Kentkau, who was a member of the fourth dynasty royal family. So we're talking about, okay, let's just bring this up since, don't take my word for it. You got 2465 BC as being fifth dynasty. So we're talking dynasty one, you're talking about 4500, 3500 BCE. Now, what year was the first King James Bible written? Okay, that's not a good question because that's 1611. So that's really, let's just say, what year was the Old Testament written? Okay, that's closer. The book of Joshua, Judges, Samuel, Kings follow forming a history of Israel from 587 BC. 587 BC is where they're trying to place this way back here. This is placed here. This has been placed here. See, I can't not tell the truth. This is not true. This is what we have learned, but this can never be true, and it's very argumentatively debatable and shut down. Absolutely. But anyways, they placing it back to 587. So Egypt predates this by, like I said, thousands of years, even more so than what this information is older than that. Okay. And so for any of the information out of the Book of the Dead, which is the book from ancient Egypt, why would that be showing up in the Bible if it's not stolen and plagiarized out of where they got it from, out of Egypt? But how could that be? How could that be? How does, just on that basic note, how does something so damn old ended up in this new damn book as an original that's not plagiarized? How does that happen? How does society allow it to go on? How? 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 That mystery has yet to be done. Obviously, it was just crazy. There's over 100 million artifacts, and we're talking about whole tombs made of gold. We're talking about riches and riches and riches untold, taken out of Egypt from those beginning dynasties. Gold, silver, nothing but precious gems of everything, man. Because that's when the resources were raw and plentiful. Copper, crystals, gemstones, gold. I mean, come on, to the point where we were ingesting gold, ingesting monoatomic gold. We were making monoatomic gold, colloidal silver, colloidal gold, colloidal copper, palladium, platinum is ingestible. And you would have never known it was ingestible if it didn't take place in ancient Kemet. And there's all types of, that's where alchemy came from. There is no alchemy without ancient Kemet. First dynasty to the 11th dynasty. But I'm going to stop at 7, but excellent. And where the spirituality level was so high, I don't think no one has ever seen that again until they had their, after their civilization achieved levitation and whatnot and higher realms of meditation. All the other civilizations had to achieve it too. That's where you got your Dalai Lamas and your whoever else that claims to achieve nirvana through meditation and travel and whatnot. Pay homage to where it came from. Just because that face does not look like you, that there is a problem with something that got created, and it's called the beast. It's never settled. its whole agenda is jealousy. And because of that, you can't win. You can destroy whatever you want to destroy here, but it won't destroy the planet. It will just, destroy what's on the planet. Spiritually, I'm just going to say, Mother Earth is not in danger of you before she will activate and spew whatever she needs to spew off of you, off of her. You ever heard, get off my back? Easy. So you better start counting your lucky stars when she hasn't done that yet, because she's mad. And when you make her mad, you got to pay. And you know when she come through, even the innocent got to go. So play if you want to. Keep on playing out there. Only the strong will survive. I'm talking about strong here. So let's finish. And then we'll close this session for the next time. We're going to do our sessions until we walk the proverbial dog with every last part of this. So the people will know. And they can't say no one literally sat down and told you. And by the way, let us read this passage. His name on his robe. Okay, we already established that. The kings of the 5th dynasty are portrayed as religious rulers from the God has begotten from, wait a second. Yeah, the kings of the 5th dynasty are portrayed as religious rulers whom the God has begotten, whereas the kings of the 4th dynasty, especially Cheops, have been represented as tyrants in later legends. Wow. I wonder how that happened. At about this time, a simple tale written in the popular language and recorded in Westgar Papyrus emerged that it was the sun god himself who created the rulers of the 5th dynasty. And this story set the stage for practically all later beliefs that the king of Egypt was in fact the son of the sun god, the son of Re. The tale speaks of the wife of a priest of Re who conceived 3 children by him, so that each was of divine origin. The part of the story most pertinent to Revelation 19 and 11 deals with the birth of the first of the divine triplets, 4 deities, including Isis, including Isis and Mesechent assist in his birth. The story goes like this. Let us read. The goddesses hasten the birth of the first child. Isis says, being not hasty in her womb, as truly as thou art named Usereth. This child then slipped forth onto her hands, a child of 1 cubit with strong bones. The royal tutelary of his limbs was of gold, and his headcloth of true lapis lazuli. They washed him, cut his navel string, and laid him upon a sheet on a brick. As the second drew near to him, she said, a king exercised the kingship of the entire land, and Khnum gave health to his body. Did y'all get that one? That's where we're going to stop. Rewind the recording and listen to that part again. Because we're going to talk about when they said Jesus, he had the crown of thorns. He had to have a crown of thorns on his head. But when you're a king, the King of Kings, you're born with a golden crown, and it's filled with lapis lazuli. I hear the rattle of Isis, so on the way out. Let's just leave that in the airwaves. And until we do episode 6, everyone be well. Give thanks for everything. Give thanks for your life. Give thanks for your limbs. Give thanks for your breath. Give thanks for your cells and your molecular structures and DNAs and your... Hey, give thanks for your aches and pains. Try that. See, I'm a scorpion goddess, and I have power over 7 scorpions. When you do things like that, it feels so much better. So try it. And until the next time, peace.